Okay, today is the day we are officially testing the base cookie dough recipe for the upcoming bakery. And I'm just making some quick brown sugar because I don't have enough for this. But I've already done 2 tests. The original recipe that I've developed over the last couple of years has been in cups and tablespoons, and to make it more accurate for a bakery, I've been converting it into grams. So I've done 2 tests already, just using the regular scoops, and have weighed them. And now this 3rd test will be using what averages I think each scoop has been to see if this is like the for sure recipe we want to do. But first, brown sugar. Okay. All the sugars are in. So the 2 things we are testing this recipe for is methodology and I guess just the development, the actual formulation, to make sure the cups to grams is an accurate thing, as well as the methodology. There's a certain component, there's a certain step of making this process that is not going to be good for mass production, and it has to do with the butter, browning the butter, the temperatures, mixing into things, XYZ. So we're trying 2 new things today: the actual grams to make sure it's correct, and the butter. Typically I would pour it boiling hot onto the sugars because it seemed to create a really nice texture, because it would melt a little bit of the sugar as it's being mixed in. But I'm wondering if that makes that much of a difference, because that's going to be very, very difficult to turn into mass production cookies, because if you have to wait for your dough to cool before you can add in mix-ins that could potentially melt, like chocolate, that's not going to work if you have to make multiple batches at a time. So we're trying grams and cooled brown butter, just room temperature, to see if that truly has made a difference in the texture. And if it does, then back to the drawing board. I don't know. And as a side note, something I have learned for all cookie bakers that helps: add your flavorings in with your fats. So the butter, the eggs, add the flavors to the flavorings like vanilla to that, because it clings to the fat, the molecules of the fat, easier, and helps to perfume the rest of your recipe just a little bit better. So straight after this, vanilla. Okay, a quick dough check. This already, texture-wise, looks so much different than the previous batches I've done. This is without flour and without the chocolate chips, so we'll add those really quick. Here is our cookie dough. I'm really tickled about this texture. I don't usually get this until it has been chilled for a little while, and that is harder to scoop when it's in the bowl chilled. So doing the room temperature brown butter is, I think, working out, because just look at this. Beautiful. And this is exactly 1,000 grams. So now we're going to divide this into its individual little scoops, weighed of course, and this gets refrigerated overnight, so the true test will be tomorrow. Lastly, also there's a lot of things. The one thing I did forget to test for or include in this test was timing. I wanted to time exactly how long each step took me so that I can, anyway, we're obviously going to be doing this again, so But the other thing we're going to be testing for is the actual structure of the cookie dough ball itself. There's a lot of thought out there on which shape is best for baking, and I think it really depends on what kind of cookie you're going for. I am not going for the bakery style super thick, like 2-inch high cookies. Those are delicious. They're just not what I want to make. I prefer the thinner discs that are chewy, soft in the middle, a little bit of crunch, that sort of thing. So I'm going to play around with different shapes and see in the bake time which one looks best. Really enjoying this texture, just playing with it is super fun. Okay, recipe development is 80% complete. We have done 4 different, or cookie development, we've done 4 different shapes to test out in the bake tomorrow. The classic rounded circle. I always add chocolate pieces to the top strategically for prettiness. Round circle. The circle that is like dimpled in with your fingers and rounded on the bottom. A ball that was made spherically and then broken in half and like tucked back together so you get all the jagged edges. And lastly, the kind of tube one. I think this is more for the bakery style, like thicker cookie, but we're gonna try it out anyway. So that was rolled, flattened on the bottom, cone shape. So these are gonna sit overnight, and tomorrow we will bake, and I have my family around to be my taste testers, and I'm really, really excited about this because texturally already I feel like this is manageable, an improvement, and I think they're going to be really, really good, and just generally super, super fun to just have your fingers all up in cookie dough. In the future, you know, I'll be doing gloves and stuff, but this is just family, so who cares? They can eat my germs. Okay, good morning. It is the next day. All of our test cookies have been baked. We were testing for cookie shape to see the presentation, how that affects the way the cookie looks when it is baked, which one is the most visually appealing. And we did 4: cone, sphere, dimpled, and broken. So the cone, this is what this looks like. It's looks a little denser, a little cakey. The bottom is nicely browned, some nice cracks on the top, but generally a little more rounded. And that was the shape of like flat bottom with a cone going up. The sphere is just a scooped ball that was rounded, and that's how this looks. A little flatter, bottom is a little less brown, a little more bumpy, but rounded bumps still. Dimpled, which was the sphere with my fingers dug into the top. This one of my family, only one person voted they liked it better, but they said they liked it better than the first 2, is that it has more texture on top. Bottom's pretty good and has some nice color there. And then the one that got the most points in the family was the broken, which was a sphere that I broke in half and then reformed the bottom, so it has all the jagged edges to it. And it looks very, very similar to the dimpled, but it has even more texture pieces, like this guy, tiny pieces of texture. Bottom looks decent and good chocolate distribution. So I think moving forward, I will probably go with either the dimpled or broken. Probably broken, honestly. I think it does have a really nice texture. The crunch, we cut into one of them so you can see the inside. This is the broken cookie. And it's really good. The flavor is delicious. And so from here, I think the next step of cookie development is to determine size. All of these cookies are like the size of a little bigger than my palm, about my palm size, and they are 83 grams each. So I'm going to see if a little bit bigger, I don't think we'll go smaller, but we're going to test this size versus bigger, see which one looks better. As far as like a single person eating a cookie, it would probably be this one because it's not too overwhelming, and it just you would want to come back for a second cookie, versus a bigger one maybe you wouldn't. And if you, with desserts, you want something that is well balanced so that you can eat more of it ideally. So I'm very pleased with it. I think this turned out really good. This was a great test to do for cookie development when starting bakery. So I don't know. I will do a screen or a video over all four, and you let me know which one you think is best.